stadium today?
It was awesome. Got to get in there, see what the wind was like, and kick a few balls.
Probably not much wind on a day like this.
No, it was pretty nice. It was nicer than most games at LSU, honestly. So excited to see what it's like when it's windy.
I know there's been a lot of conversation about kicking here and the weather and talking to people. Have you yet talked to Phil Dawson?
I have talked to Phil Dawson.
What kind of advice has he given you?
He just kind of went through some of the stuff he did, plant cleats, talked about the wind a little bit, different types of conditions. Everyone has their own style of going about things, but it was cool to pick his brain about a few things.
He explained his flag to you?
He did say that people be mentioning his flag. Yeah.
When did you guys connect?
Friday after the draft, so like a week from today, week ago today, I think, something like that.
Was it a long talk?
It's good 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, talked about it a lot.
Do you think you guys might meet up in person?
I'm sure we will eventually. I know he's in Austin, so he's doing his own thing, but I'm sure at some point we'll cross paths.
Cade, what goes into the confidence of making a kicker successful?
You do it all the time, so every field goal is the same, whether it's out here on the field, in the stadium today, or in the stadium on Sundays. So you just build up confidence over time, and your muscle memory takes over.
What did Phil tell you about the weather and the wind and the dog pounding and all that?
He just mentioned, there are going to be days that's going to be tough. You just got to go out there and hit a true ball. You got to be okay with not hitting it right down the middle every time, and just have confidence in what you do, and not every kick's going to be the same.
Have you become a weatherman?
Something like that.
Fans have just seemed so excited that they drafted you, which obviously doesn't happen every time a kicker gets drafted. I guess just what have you been hearing from people on social media or anything like that, and what does it mean to you that there's this level of excitement surrounding them taking you?
I mean, it's been nothing but support, and yeah, obviously people were talking we need a kicker, stuff like that. But to be honest, none of that matters right now. What matters is I'll go out there, get better right now, and get out there and start making kicks, because really that support doesn't mean anything until it's deserved and I'm making field goals. So,
Cade, you told us it happened fast, like you going from a soccer player to having scholarship offers. Was there one camp or one moment where it turned for you?
I'd say I went to a Coles camp in December of my junior year that I really got noticed. Things turned around, had a real good day. I don't think I really missed a kick that day, and got ranked number 1 after that. And after that, started getting the attention of coaches, and then suddenly realized wow, take a full ride in football, or take a 50% scholarship to some private school that's still going to cost $30,000. So took the football option and haven't looked back since.
What kind of a soccer player were you?
I was a center back that could kick the ball pretty hard, and had a good shot. So sometimes I played up top when we needed a goal or something, but mostly center back. I used to be a bully in sport, and now I'm a kicker. So.
Penalty kicks guy? Did you have that leg?
Say that again?
Were you the penalty kicks guy?
I was one of those guys. I would take the goal kicks every once in a while if we didn't have a keeper that could, but I did take penalty kicks too.
Right after they drafted you, they let the guys go that they had here. We always hear from Andrew Berry about competition. They're always looking to drive competition at positions, but you come in and they've basically given you the car keys. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think they know my mentality, and I'm a very competitive person, and not only am I going to compete with other people, but I'm going to compete with myself, and I think they know that, and I think that they want to give me a space to work on what I need to work on, and very thankful for that. But just because there's no one here I'm competing with in the facility, doesn't mean I'm not competing with every other kicker in the country. So
You mentioned the mental part of the game a lot. How do you hone that? How do you work on that craft?
that is definitely the hardest part of the game. It's just something you build up confidence over time, and you know that even though you might have one bad kick, it doesn't mean that everything else is bad. It's just something was off on that one. And there's a part of it that you just have to have fun with it, and you know that what you're doing out there on Sundays, I almost said Saturdays, it's pretty new, on Sundays is literally the exact same thing you do every time. It's just people in the stands and a few 300-pound guys running at you. So you just got to practice the mental part in practice and create hard situations for yourself in practice, so when you go out there on game days, it's the exact same.
As a perfectionist, was it hard for you to kind of learn to accept when you would miss one?
It still is, yes. I definitely am a perfectionist to a certain degree, but you also have to be happy with results. So if you hit a bad kick that still goes in, be happy with it. If you hit a good kick that doesn't go in, At least you hit a good ball. You know you're not messing up that bad. It's just something off. And you just got to accept it and move on.
And I think after draft you mentioned that when you're kicking in wind, if you make good contact, the wind affects it less.
Yes.
Right? And that's a kind of a staple for you.
For sure.
Do you get that from golf too? Are you a golfer? 'Cause it seems to be true there too.
I am a golfer. I wouldn't say I have control over my golf swing like I do my kicking swing just yet. And it would be bad if they were the same because I'm not a pro golfer. There are days that the wind will affect the ball no matter what, and I'm sure I'm going to start seeing some days like that soon. But the best shot you have is hitting a good ball and hitting it off the right part of the foot, because the better you hit the ball, the faster it's going to go, and the only time the wind starts affecting the ball is once the ball slows down. So you got to hit a good ball.
Aside from like the weather and the ins and outs of the stadium, did you and Phil get into just kind of what football means to the community and the fan base and stuff he used to talk about all the time? Did he share any of that with you?
He definitely talked about how Cleveland can be either an amazing place to play or a hard place to play if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and how you basically got to block that out, because everyone has bad days. Even Phil had bad days. So you got to just play the best of your ability and not worry too much about the fans. But it's also a great place to play, just like college, honestly, because Baton Rouge, if I wasn't doing well, they were going to let me know. So, yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think kicking in the SEC under such a big environment, does that kind of prepare you for the pressure, if that's the right word?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on a weekly basis, I was kicking in front of 104,000 people. So, yes, those are Mayo fans, but when we went and played in stadiums, they're all big-time stadiums with fans at college, sometimes even crazier than the fans at NFL, I'm sure. So it definitely is something that prepared me to be where I'm at now.
Are you going to have to work on your kickoffs, or you feel pretty good about it?
I know y'all haven't seen too many of those, but I have very confident in my kickoff abilities. So.